All right, I just wanted to show how to fill in contributing factors for any incident that has a severity level of 4 or 5. We're expected to put in contributing factors. So another way to think about a 4 is literally anytime a student leaves course early for whatever reason, other than a family issue, it becomes a 4. So we're going to go into this incident here, and we can just come down here, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste the narrative, assessment, the analysis, put all that stuff in there, just copy it. And to bring everybody up to speed, on day 4, the student had multiple incidents using language outside of our standards, outside of their group living agreement. These were addressed in the moment. The student also punched a wall, walked away from the group about half a mile, and they were unwilling to work with the student support agreement as to find ways to best contribute to positive group culture. And they no longer complied with essential eligibility criteria, and so they were removed on day 5. So we can come over here to the left to contributing factors. We can hit list. And we can create new. I'm going to forward this chart. It lists out all the different contributing factors that are part of this database. So you can write in other things. This is sometimes kind of hard to fit things into buckets, but once you have your thoughts, so say like complacency, it doesn't actually show up in this, but you might be able to find it as like maybe staff attitudes or student attitudes. But this can be a good way to try and figure out, where does this thing that I'm thinking about need to end up? And I'll send this a link to this for you. So for this one, some of the contributing factors in this one involve the course people and activities. So we'll choose that. We will choose, so in this one, it seemed like there were some interactions with the rest of the group, as well as the group living agreement. It's part of that culture that were part of this. And ultimately, that seemed to be the main reason why the student left. So we'll choose more direct for that. And then the contributing factor title will be outside of essential eligibility criteria, made them need to leave course. And so we'll come down to contributing factor details, and we'll put that in, and we'll create. And so it can be pretty quick. Oftentimes there's going to be multiple ones. So in this case, there was also some issues where the student had they had trust issues based on traumatic incidents in the past prior to Outward Bound. So we can also look at student experience. It's unknown how much that actually applied, but it was something that was present and was brought up. But that seemed to affect that student's willingness to apologize to other students, and not necessarily why the student was going home. So maybe less direct. So maybe we'll just put in here pre-existing traumatic history. And then again, we can just copy and paste, and we can create. So there could be one contributing factor for someone, there could be 2, there could be 3, there could be 4. Just depends on the incident. There's also, if there are some mitigating factors, you can put those in there. There's typically going to be tons of mitigating factors, but what we want to try and focus in on is if there is something that was exceptional or out of the ordinary that contributed to this specific incident, or things that could have helped it not be things that helped it not be worse than it was. So those are things that we would want to put. In this case, nothing is initially coming to mind, so I'm not going to put anything there. But oftentimes you can find something that was like, oh, someone did something that was like outside of the norm. And so in this case, staff addressed inappropriate language. They worked with him. They tried to do student support agreements. They used trauma-informed principles. Those are things that are part of what we expect out of any staff. So we don't need to put those in there. And but if you do, maybe the trauma-informed principles, I could add that into here. But we could, same thing, list and then create new, because trauma-informed principles are something that every staff has been trained on or is informed on. So that's how you do that. If you got any questions on putting in contributing or mitigating factors, remember this always happens for incidents that are a severity of 4 or 5, at least. You can put them in for other ones, but those are the times when we are required to do it. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.